Is the Partners in Learning website really a community of practice? What needs to be done to make it more of a productive and dynamic community of practice? These are the sorts of questions I've been asking myself since the Partners in Learning Global Forum. A successful community of practice requires a sense of aliveness, which derives from its ability to generate enough excitement, relevance, and value to attract and engage members. This excerpt from Wenger, McDermott, and Snyder's book, Cultivating Communities of Practice, sums up the life cycle of most online communities of practice. Over the last 12 years, I have seen many attempts at building a community of practice for teachers come and go. They may seem attractive and vibrant for a time, with interesting content and concrete events. But after an initial flurry of activity, they all lapse into lethargy in the end, lingering on in the form of unupdated web pages, like a Wild West ghost town attesting to the boom years of the gold rush. Is digital sagebrush blowing across years-old blog posts and dead conversations the inevitable destiny of all online communities of practice? The jury is still out on the inevitability of this process, but I'm convinced that, however well-intentioned, efforts at building an online community of practice of teaching professionals will fail to meet our expectations as long as they lack three things: vision, an understanding of what successful community building requires, and the resources to stick to it over the long haul, to maintain what the authors of Cultivating Communities in Practice call aliveness. Communities of practice can only stay alive if people come and if they keep on finding things there that make them want to keep coming back. Build it and they will come, that much-quoted line from Field of Dreams, is only partly true. What they find there and what they get out of it will determine whether they keep coming back and whether over the long term a given community manages to attain and maintain the necessary minimum critical mass for continued existence. All this requires resources, not just in terms of the initial building process, the interface, the resources, the seed community, but most especially in terms of long-term project management. Many online communities of practice are the initiatives of one visionary individual or of a group of motivated innovators who manage to use pre-existing online tools to create sufficient buzz around their project to bring people together around this initial core. Others originate with institutions or companies launching a service, a product, or a set of resources, but in both cases, long-term success depends on the aliveness of this collaborative space. Take just one example, Tapped In. Tapped In has been doing teacher professional development since 1997 with a text-based interface derived from Moos and MUDs. And even despite the now passé nature of text-based conferencing, it's still going in 2011. Why has it been so successful, so long-lived, and so alive? Because it combines great content with real people interacting in real time with visitors and members. Because it has a regular calendar chock full of real-time conferences, as well as a substantial community of educators who come back again and again to discuss vital issues in education and to exchange ideas about educational practice and classroom activities. Between 2000 and 2003, I ran a series of weekly conferences on Tapped In for language teachers at Euro-friendly times. I invited regular guest speakers like Bernie Dodge, co-founder of the WebQuest concept, and Martin Holmes, creator of the widely used and acclaimed Hot Potatoes exercise building tool. I presented Tapped In to French educators, and it was my constant presence, setting up new conferences, interacting with other educators, and editing content that made it all come alive. That, in addition to the constant presence of resource people like B.J. Berquist in the Tapped In reception hall, who helped newcomers become acquainted with the interface and with the stunning quality and quantity of the regular Tapped In conferences. This is the kind of work a hands-on facilitator needs to be doing for Partners in Learning. The Microsoft Partners in Learning community has a lot going for it. Over 4 million education professionals registered at one time or another is a huge accomplishment. But is it as alive as it could be? Is having over 2,000 separate communities an advantage or a drawback? Is the team responsible for this community making the most of this opportunity and allocating resources effectively in order to build and maintain a vibrant and dynamic community of practice? During the week we spent in Washington at the Partners in Learning Global Forum, I had the pleasure to speak with people like Scott Burmester, Sonia Delafosse, David Walden, Baldev Singh, Leon Morgan, Greg Rattenborg, and many others. With some of you, I also spoke about what I would like to help bring to the Partners in Learning community. I hope this video gives you a better idea of what I think needs to be done. Building a successful community of practice is an ongoing challenge, one that requires vision, understanding, and resources. Are we up to this challenge?